Hello everyone. For this video I'll be going over Italian game, which is an opening, okay? An opening is like the first stage of the game. It's when both sides try to control the center, develop their pieces, protect the king. Those are the three main ones, but a bunch of other rules that leads up to the middle game, which is the second portion. But anyway, so this is the specific um, like series of moves called the Italian game. So oftentimes in the opening, a lot of moves are pre-planned just because it's the beginning of the game. You can at least to some amount of time you can plan out what's going to happen. In the Italian game, first played by Italian chess masters as long ago as the 16th century, white develops the bishop to a strong diagonal. This is one of the most basic openings. I think it's something even if you don't want to play it, you should know it just because of how common it is. But anyway, so let's get started. So it starts off with e4 and then e5 by black, then knight f3, knight c6. So these are all common. This is not just for the Italian game, this is for many other openings. But the defining feature of the Italian game is this bishop to c4 move. You get the bishop to c4, and you can control like this diagonal from c4 to f7. That's a really nice diagonal. You can control that square over there as well. So now there's a lot of options for what black can do. So that's one, that's two, three. So I'll start off with this one. This is the main one. Now here there's a couple of things that white can do. White has three main moves and one move that used to be popular but is not as popular now, which are this, castle, this, castle, and then or b4. Okay, so I'll go over each of these. Castling is probably the most passive move. It doesn't really do anything. It's a good move, obviously, but it just transposes into something else. So here, after this, you have to either play this or this. This is now not really that good, not really that quality of a move. So so that just transposes. So that's not really worth discussing anymore. Here, however, the two main moves are this and this. Okay, so going here, this is a solid move. It protects this pawn and it opens up this bishop. So the play might continue as this. Black tries to develop. You develop your bishop. He castles, or they castle. You develop your knight. They kick your bishop. It goes back. And they do the same thing. You castle. And something like this could happen. This could also happen. Like this. And this is because there's a pinto. After this, then black plays this, then you castle, then say black does something like this, they castle too, and then you go here. If you go here, then you can just defend it. And this is good, even though you have the double pawn, you can push this pawn later on, say black does something random. You can do this, and then do this, then you have a nice center. So that's one variation. So this is the most common variation. Black can also just mirror it, do something like this. I guess go back here, do the same thing, then do that, and you castle. Last one is this. This is probably the most common one. The point of this move is so that you can control the center like this. So if black does something random, then you can control the center like that. So black obviously wants to prevent this, so they do this. And there's only really one variation for this, for black and white. So if you play this as white, you usually know what you're getting into. There's a couple things you can do. You can either play d3 and defend it, or you can go this. So I'll go over both of them. This is kind of just like what we discussed before, except there's a pawn on c3 now. Like just this castle. You can play a6. You can black can castle. Black can play bishop g4. There's a lot of options here, and we can see on the side that all of these are shown. So a6 is a good move. So you can go back like that. So the choice is up to you for what you want to do as white, and it depends on what black plays. Instead of playing that, you can also play this, which forces black to take. There's literally nothing else. Then black goes here, and then you can do a couple things. You can defend it like this. You can defend it like this. I think this just not that good of a move because it's kind of risky. It just goes there. So you have to play this, and then take. Yeah, you can take like this. And you have a nice center, and you have a as white, you have a pretty good chance of winning. Although I won't say it's a risky game, because it's pretty open. So I would recommend not to play this, especially if you're not into attacking. I think this is the best move. This is the most solid move and the most safe move. So there is one last move, and this is called the Evans Gambit. It's not something I recommend you to play, but I'll tell you about it anyways. It's the over here you can see the win rate is as white's pretty high, but it requires like really accurate play. Otherwise, it's not good. And it was played a long time ago. It's not played that much. If you play like this, can take. It's the most common move, and you have to play this. Then you can go back. You can also try here, but that's not that grim. You take the center immediately like that, something like that. If they just go here, you could just transpose. But in this case, you can see that. But you are down a pawn, so it's a trade-off. It's you need to be very accurate here. You can also play this, and I said I'd go over it in the beginning, which is true. But this kind of goes into like a two knights like modern. It kind of goes into a different opening. But as you can see, the thing is you can transpose pretty easily, quite easily actually. And here it transposes into. This is not a good move because it blocks off the black bishop. But if you need to go like this, this is the best move. Again, what I was saying is that if you're when you're playing white and you're looking for an opening that fits being solid and having pretty good attacking chances at the same time, with this is a good opening. So that's all I have to say about this opening, the Italian game.